one question I wanted to ask you: the first series of red primes, were they? Is that an urban legend that they were made by Cook, or
the primes were not made by Cook
or the
at
Zoom
all.
Actually, the Zoom. Right?
The Zooms. I'm not supposed to talk about this. Maybe like the statute of limitation is over now.
Maybe.
Welcome to Cinema 5D on the Go. Moving conversations about moving images with filmmakers and industry leaders. Brought to you by Tilta, Blackmagic Design, Manfrotto, and Olympus OMD in association with Sony. This is your host, Nino Leitner.
So yeah, I mean, how does everything change for you guys in terms of when there are cheaper lenses on the market? Do you get a lot of? Is this good for your business, or is it more like, well, we service only the high-end glass?
It's both, because we do sell and service lenses. So on the sales side, it's nice because it broadens the market.
Yeah.
On the service side, there's a balance. You know, when your lens price is too low, the cost to service it, you know, it comes up on the cost of replacement really quick. So there's a really fine line. You know, you get to the point where the lens is so cheap it just doesn't make sense to service it. You just buy a new one.
Some of the CP2s, if you damage the focus, you just had to throw that part away. It wasn't worth working on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say like CP2, Sigma, Canon, like that price range is sort of the border of where it becomes relevant to service. Those are good. We can service all that stuff. It works well. But anything, once you start getting cheaper than that, it becomes a problem.
What are the worst lenses you guys see on the market right now in terms of cinema lenses?
So we don't, new lenses or anything?
Anything.
We don't accept Russian lenses for service.
Okay.
Anytime someone says I got a Lomo or anything like that, can you guys, you know, even a simple back focus adjustment, says sorry, can't do it. And it's again, economics. Time and time again, we would take in Russian lenses for service. They say, oh, it just needs a simple relube. And we'd quote it for like 4 hours labor. Yeah. And then, you know, you start working on it and the screw head breaks off. And then you got to drill and tap it. Or, you know, you finish the whole thing. You finish the whole thing. You put it all back together. It looks good, feels okay. And then the edge paint on an element flakes off. And you got to start all over. So we just said, forget it, no more. We're not servicing Russian lenses.
How do you feel about like the Rokinon Samyang lenses?
I think they're underrated. I don't think they get the credit they deserve.
This is location sound in Vegas.
Yeah.
So they're underrated? Yeah.
I think they're underrated. They're not, I mean, if you go into it with your expectations on par, like, they're not master primes.
Yeah.
They're not going to compare with some higher end lenses. They're not Cooks, anything like that. But for that price, you almost can't beat them. They're a great value for what they are. And even then, people still complain. You've got like the Rokinon DS line, that's the plastic bodies, really cheap, DSLR mounts. And for years, people were asking us to put PL mounts on them. And we always said no, because we knew that the zines were coming. Yeah. We didn't want to waste money doing it when the factory was going to do it. And so when they released those and the price was, you know, a little bit higher, they're still the cheapest you could get for a PL mount, people still complained. But for that price, they're awesome. I think that one of the best values right now, you know, performance to dollar, is the Sigma primes.
I just wanted to mention them, the Art series.
Yeah, so it's based on the Art series glass, which anybody that's used the Art series glass. Yeah. Like I use my Canon, it's the glass is awesome. Yeah. And I was really skeptical when I heard that they were doing that, but the housings on the new Sigmas are top notch. We did an interview with a Sigma CEO in Japan. I don't know if you saw that, but it's really amazing. I mean, like their philosophy behind it, and when they decided to take that step to really invest in really high quality lenses. And I mean, when you think back only like maybe 5 or 10 years ago, Sigma was, you know, like, I don't know, Tamron. Yeah, or you know, it's like really cheap lenses. And they completely turned around, and it's amazing how much knowledge and how much engineering is in there, I think. Yeah. They're smart guys. And if you think about it too, they've been in the cinema business for like 4 or 5 months now. Yeah. And look at all the progress they've made.
Incredible.
They've got the compact zooms, the really high speed zooms. They've got a full set of primes that are coming out now. Like nobody's been able to do that. Nobody's been able to jump into cinema that well.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's a really forward-thinking company. I mean, they still make their own camera body because they want to be able to track the whole process of, you know, not just the lenses, but the image it makes and what kind of performance they can get out of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I give major credit to them. I think I did see that piece, and there was a section about it's not common these days for a lens manufacturer to do everything under one roof. Yeah, a lot of people are outsourcing, which is fine. You know, you save cost here and there, but to have the control that they do on the entire line, that's uncommon these days.
Yeah, you saw that on the go that we did last year at IBC, I think, or Photokina with Sigma engineer talking about how they make their lenses, and it's amazing. Yeah.
No, I think the only other one I can think of that does that is maybe Cook. They have like their one shop. Actually, I think I just talked to them today. They have a separate shop, but it's still like down the road.
Yeah.
But it's just uncommon for them to have that much control these days.
One question I wanted to ask you: the first series of red primes, were they? Is that an urban legend that they were made by Cook, or?
The primes were not made by Cook at all.
The Zoom, actually, the Zoom. Right?
The Zooms. I'm not supposed to talk about this. It's maybe like the statute of limitation is over now.
Maybe.
It's okay. I'm not going to confirm or deny.
Yeah.
But the glass in those was definitely Sigma rehoused Sigma glass, and the anodizing, the engraving,
mechanics,
the paint and the engraving, the mechanics, everything. You take one look.
Yeah.
It screams Cook. There's just no question about it.
Cool, that's good to know. But they changed that.
The primes are completely separate.
Yeah. So in terms of trends in the industry, where do you see everything moving in terms of lenses in the next few years?
It's sort of moving in tandem with the cameras. It's sort of like, which one's going to come first, the chicken or the egg? I think it's pretty obvious now that the lenses are coming first for full frame. You know, VistaVision full frame. Just this year alone, you've got, the stuff that's available: Canon primes, Sigma primes, Schneiders,
Leica M0.8,
the Leica Talias, Leica 0.8s, Cook's S7s. Like, there's so much full frame glass now. The CP3s. It's just the way it's going to go. It's only a matter of time. Red's got their VistaVision camera, which I think there's only like 5 of in the world. So that is what it is. But everybody sees the writing on the wall. Canon, Sony. There's nothing stopping them from making a full-frame cinema camera.
Yeah, that's what we all been waiting for, I think.
And there's a chance for so many manufacturers to leverage all their pre-existing lens designs too. You know, they have decades of designs that they can go back to, and especially when people are interested in the vintage look.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, it's very strange that now for years, since the 5D Mark II came out, they gave us finally affordable professional cameras after that. In steps, in waves, like with the F3, C300, and so on, F5, 55, C500. But then they never made, a photo full frame camera where everybody get used to the full frame look with a 5D, and we still, very often use, A7Ss and stuff. And I'm just amazed this little camera makes an image that, looks better very often than any of their Super 35 cameras, just because of the size of the sensor. And hopefully it's around the corner. Cinema glass.
I do feel bad for ACs that are gonna have to pull focus on fast primes on full frame sensors, but it's the way to go. It's the future.
Well, I think there's also a little more reason now with shooters not filming everything at f1.2 anymore.
You'd like to hope so. But we'll see.
All right, guys. Thanks for being our guest here.
Anytime.
It was a fun drive. I went in a few weird circles here in Vegas at noon. Excuse the shadows on us.
This isn't
dear
Bellagio.
All right, thanks for watching this episode of Cinema 5D on the go. We wrap it up here with Matt and Alex from Duclos Lenses, and we'll see you again next week with another episode and another topic. And stay tuned for at cinema5d.com for all your camera gear reviews and news. Thanks for watching.